So I saw an interesting article pop up today while I was on the internet, as I often do. I like quite a few sports pages online, so when anything comes up, I usually see it pretty much. And I saw this one about the Manchester United winger Antony and his kind of response to a lot of criticism of everything that's going on at the moment. And I've got to shout out Simon Stone here from the BBC Sport for covering this. It's an interesting story. And it just kind of caught my eye because, people have been watching Antony since he joined Manchester United for, let me just remind you how much money it was for, 82 million, which I understand he doesn't dictate how much money he goes for, but he's still on a lot of money, no doubt there. He cost the club a lot of money, so therefore he is expected to perform. And frankly, he hasn't really. I don't like him really as a footballer. I don't see what Ten Hag sees in him. He was a lot more prolific at Ajax, there's no doubt in that, but even then it's not crazy numbers what he was putting out there in the Netherlands. And last season he scored a grand total of 1 Premier League goal for Manchester United in 29 appearances. He got 3 goals in total last season, and 2 of them came in the FA Cup, and both of those, I believe, were against Newport County, who, if you don't know, are in the 4th tier of English football. So not exactly an amazing side, not exactly the kind of opposition that he should be expecting to play against every week. But let me just dive into some of the quotes from this article, because there are some interesting things in here. So, Manchester United winger Antony has explained why a traumatic upbringing in Brazil means critics who condemn his football abilities will not write my story. That's what he said. United made Antony the second most expensive player in their history, behind France World Cup winner Paul Pogba, when they paid Ajax 82 million for him back in 2022. The 24-year-old has rarely come close to justifying that fee and has scored just 5 goals and claimed 3 assists in 54 Premier League appearances. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. That is awful. Even for a youth player, you'd be expecting more than that. But for a guy who's cost, coming up to 90, 100 million pounds. Oh boy. And you think about his wages on top. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money even for a club like United. It's one of the worst pieces of businesses I think they've done personally to date. He might, he might turn things around. He might get better over time, but he's really not showing it. Antony ended last season on the bench and was an unused substitute in the 2-1 FA Cup final victory over Manchester City at Wembley in May. Doesn't that tell you a lot as well, the fact they beat Manchester City without him being involved? And if you remember his antics as well when they beat Coventry City, man, like they're a second tier outfit. They're not a terrible side, but Antony was so disrespectful. And you saw Harry Maguire, the former captain of the club, I should say, going up to Coventry players and, commiserating them, actually offering respect, shaking their hands and stuff. And Antony was just jumping around for joy like he won the thing. And then, ironically, in the final, he doesn't play any part. However, on the eve of this weekend's Manchester Derby rematch in the Community Shield, he's offered a revealing insight into his tough background in Sao Paulo, fellas, that not all his friends were lucky enough to escape from. He said, "It's difficult for me to talk about my background. It's not by chance that I have a favela that I have the favela where I grew up tattooed across my back and always play with the favela written on my boots. The favela is always with me." Now, for those that don't know, the favela is basically it's kind of the slum really of Brazil and South America. It's basically a very poor area, very densely populated area, and a lot of the best footballers, particularly from Brazil, have come from areas like that. We see it quite a bit in the UK as well. A lot of great footballers come from council estates. The council estates are favelas basically. So I do implore people to go and check this article out. I think it's a fascinating insight into what Antony's kind of gone through and everything. But the thing is, right, regardless of all this, I applaud him for getting out of that situation and everything. He's worked hard to get where he is. Regardless of that, he's not done good enough for Manchester United. He's not. And then on top of that, unfortunately, we have the allegations of DV. I have to say that because I have to keep it PG on here. I can't say the full term. But yeah, there are allegations of that. I haven't seen that being concluded yet. We've not really heard anything on that in a while, but there are those allegations hanging over him. Interestingly enough, he's not the only Manchester United player to be, he's the only current one at the moment, now that Greenwood's left, but there is that as well. So both from a professional and a personal point of view, he's been very lacklustre professionally professionally on the pitch, and then off the pitch there are certain antics that he's been certain antics I shouldn't say because that's really downplaying it. Certain allegations put against him off the pitch as well, which it's not good. It's not good, you know. And like I said, you know, it's good that he's got out of the situation, you know, coming from poverty and everything like that, and you know, you gotta respect that. But what you don't have to respect him is him as a player right now because he's not performing, and you also don't have to respect him as a person because of what he's allegedly done. Whether he's done that or not, that's all going to get found out eventually. It's going to come out in the wash, but for now, you know, I've got to kind of stay on the fence with that. But yeah, what are your thoughts, guys? Are we being too harsh on Antony? Don't we respect his background enough like he's trying to allude to? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed and follow thefootballchronicle.com, as well as commenting, sharing and ringing the bell as well to see much more football content just like this.